thought about my parents, and then I shut that down. And then I thought about my grandfather or somebody, and it actually came down between two people, my Uncle WC or my grandfather. And I thought, who do I inspire to be like the most? And who has the better stories? So I chose Uncle WC. I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about his life and some of the events in it and why I picked him and why I look up to him. WC Bowman was born February 5th, 1934 in Very Best, Texas. It's by San Angelo. I had never heard of it. He was born into a family of farmers, and he was the second youngest out of 8 brothers and sisters. He was in the Army for 2 years, and on December 16th of 1955, he married this lovely woman, my Aunt Jean. They have 3 kids together, Sherry, Niecy, and Nathan, who were all just as eccentric as their father. For his job, he was kind of a jack of all trades. He liked to fix things up all the time and help people out, but his favorite thing to do was remodel houses. Okay. One of my favorite things about Uncle WC was his Christmas displays. It started about 5 years ago, and as you can see, they're the Christmas displays. If you can't tell, my family is a little bit country. So it started about 5 years ago, and it started with Santa asking Rudolph where the rest of the reindeer were. And so the next year, he put this up, and I said reindeer, not John Deere. And so it began as Santa sitting on like a 4-wheeler type thing being pulled by lawnmowers. He was always, I know, it's great. He was always a huge fan of decorating. Obviously, Christmas was his favorite. I mean, it's pretty awesome. He got people to donate the lawnmowers and everything so that he could always finish the Christmas display. 2010 was the last year for him to actually do it because it just got too difficult and too hard. On July 2nd, 2007, Uncle WC was diagnosed with ocular melanoma, which is a rare cancer of the eye. And they didn't want to do anything about it until they checked everywhere else for any other signs of cancer, and they found some on his liver. It was a different kind of cancer called mixed cell carcinoma, and they realized that the cancer on his liver actually came from cancer in his pancreas. There was a tumor on his pancreas, and Uncle WC's always been an extremely lucky person, and the tumor actually never got bigger. It just stayed as a really small tumor. The cancer just kind of spread. But to get rid of the cancer in his eye, they had to remove it. I thought it was pretty gross, but he always thought it was funny to mess with it. During all of this, he also had Parkinson's disease that he had been living with for quite some time. They thought that he would only live a year, and he actually showed everyone up and lived 4.5 more years. And most of that time was actually with no treatment. In 2010, the local newspaper interviewed him about his amazing Christmas display. And one of my favorite quotes from him is they obviously, asked him about the cancer and if it was hard to do the displays. And he said, yeah, I've got cancer, but it doesn't have me. And I thought that's always been one of my favorite quotes by him. Unfortunately, January 30th of 2012, Uncle WC left us. He was 78 years old. And I mean, he put up a fight. It's not like he didn't go without putting up a fight and kicking his butt for quite some time. I was fortunate enough to get to spend the last few days before he passed away with him. And we actually left and had to go home the day before he passed away. I called my Aunt Jean this week to ask her some questions about Uncle WC, and I asked her if there was anything that she really wanted me to to mention to you guys. And she said that WC never met a stranger. He liked everyone almost immediately. I mean, everyone loved WC. He was a great man. She even said that her neighbors are still like, we miss your Christmas decorations and we miss seeing him and all of that. And she said that he thought that his purpose in life was to make someone else's day brighter, and that he felt that way especially after being diagnosed with the cancer. So a reason that I look up to WC is I love making people happy, and I love brightening someone's day, and he's always been a family man, and he would, give an arm and a leg for anybody. And I can't imagine another human being that I would want to reflect more in my life. So, thanks for sharing. Let me share my stories with you. I thought that everybody should at least hear one story of WC. He was an amazing man, and I wish that everyone had gotten to meet him. I mean, I know that I